everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 25 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. Today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches of 2020 with match number 26 on our list, which is the one-on-one contest between Daniel Makabe and Lee Moriarty from the Southern Underground Pro Swing of the Axe show held back at the Collective on October the 9th. These two are two of my absolute favorite wrestlers to watch currently. I'm sure you can tell by the t-shirt that I'm wearing. Lee managed to somehow, despite COVID-19, be the breakout star of 2020. Had COVID-19 not affected travel for so many, I'm sure that Daniel Makabe would have been right there alongside him. This was a technical wrestling fan's dream match that SUP put on paper here. I was incredibly excited to see it coming into the Collective. I was incredibly excited when it delivered in spades and probably exceeded the high expectations that I had put on it. Lee Moriarty had a very interesting story coming into the Collective. He was booked in a number of high-profile matches throughout the three-day event. This was the very first one on his list, and he was hoping to start it with a win and make a good impression. Daniel Makabe, I'll give a quick shout out to his entrance theme he used for this match was Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli, which I thought was very weird but absolutely incredible. So I thought that was just a really cool, different entrance theme choice. The match started with a handshake. Both of these guys are very respectful, clean wrestling individuals for the most part. And that's what we saw on display here. The opening was just beautiful counter wrestling, technical wrestling, which is some of my favorite to watch. There was a great spot where they both, try to put each other in like an octopus or a cobra twist, and they just keep going for it, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, with neither one being able to get it, which I thought was really cool. They did a really good job here just with some subtle mind games. Lee had the agility advantage throughout the match, so he used his speed a couple of times to get a one-up on Makabe. There was a great spot where they went through a sequence and Lee actually kind of baited Makabe into doing like a backward somersault, and then he kicked out his arm, which led to some really great arm work, which Lee is known for. That led to another good spot later where Makabe actually did the same thing and baited Lee into doing the somersault, only to grab an STF. Which he then quickly let go of, basically just to show like, I can play those mind games too, I'm just as good as it, if not better than you are, and I could have got you without STF, but hey, we're not done here yet. There was just a lot of really cool, unique stuff, and that's why I really like these guys. They both excel at, taking what at its core should be kind of a simple pro wrestling style, but adding all of these little unique nuances on it that just make it so captivating. There was a spot where Makabe was going for a cross arm breaker on Lee, and when he finally leaned back to get the arm fully extended, Lee did like a log roll over top of Makabe into a pin, which I'd never seen before, and I thought it was just super, super cool. They ended up quickening the pace a little bit. It went into a little bit more of a traditional wrestling match from that point out. One of Makabe's signature moves is like a fastball punch, very like Munenori Sawa style. He went for that a couple times, and Lee kept dodging it. He finally got it while Lee was on the top rope, and then followed him up there and hit a top rope Hurricane Rana. I always like to call that the Jericho spike, where both guys are standing on the top rope, which not something you see a lot from Dan, but again just showed that Lee was taking him out of his comfort zone a little bit with the speed and the pace of the match. They did an awesome just like sunset flip, fish out of water, pinfall exchange sequence that led to a great spot where Daniel Makabe faked that he was going to do like a La Magistral cradle, but instead grabbed a rear naked choke, which I thought was super cool and different. They ended up going into a finishing sequence, trading holds. Makabe got cattle mutilation, which is his finish. Lee was able to grab the ropes. At that point, it seemed like Lee was getting a little bit flustered because what he was doing wasn't working. Daniel seemed to have a bit of a counter for everything. He went for like a desperation small package, which was kind of outside of the match feel a little bit, and it really did seem desperate. That got him a 2, and he ended up going for Makabe's own cattle mutilation, which was a huge mistake. If it's your pet hold, you should know the counter to it. And Makabe was, able to transition out of it quite easily. Put him Lee back in cattle mutilation himself, and he added a fold over bridge for it. Makabe had nowhere, or Lee had nowhere to go and had to submit. Great match, show of respect post-match, again with another handshake. There was a nice little quote from Makabe where he said something effective like, "That was really fun," which I liked because, again, a match like this can often come across as really like exhibition-y, but this did have a really good story and it did feel like a fight still, which is why it found its way onto this list. I hope we get to see a rematch again someday under normal circumstances, and this was a way for Lee to start his, what should have been his huge coming out party at the Collective, but he started it with an L, and that would be a little bit of a story that would continue throughout. This match can be watched on IWTV if you subscribe there. Please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, follow on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, and we'll see you again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.